Torah Garden, speaking the absolute truth. Torah Nation.
Shalom, 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 Yashar'el and Yahudah. Grafted in Gentiles into the body of Hamashiach. Hear ye, hear ye, hear ye. This whore is fallen. Babylon's destruction is set. Her fate is sealed. You must escape this whore. It is not an option. You must flee Babylon. This daughter of Babylon, this United Snakes of America, this whore, this diabolical whore, you must escape. Abba Yahuah, in the name of Yahushua Hamashiach, you have called me to cry loud and to spare not, to lift up my voice like a shofar in Zion. Yahuah, in the name of Yahushua Hamashiach, Yahushua declared that in my belly would flow rivers of living water. Of it she spake of the Ruach HaKodesh. Abba Yahuah, this Ruach that you have given me has established me as being born again of the water and the Ruach HaKodesh. It has sealed me into the kingdom. Abba Yahuah, I pray right now in the name of Yahushua Hamashiach, that by this Ruach HaKodesh you would take the reins of my lips and the reins of my tongue and reign. Abba, I have entered into a covenant with you, an agreement with you. My forefathers had a covenant with you, an agreement with you. Yahuah, you have left us commandments in which we were to follow, instructions that we were to follow through on. Abba, I pray that the word would come forth from me and that it would not cause anyone to stumble, anyone to be turned out of the way, anyone to come up lame. Abba Yahuah, I do this for the witness. Yahuah, I pray right now in the name of Yahushua Hamashiach, by exercising the authority that you have given me in this witness on the arrests. I take authority over every power of darkness, every spirit of distraction, every spirit of indifference, every spirit of rebellion, every spirit of perversion, every familiar spirit that is in operation, that's working against this witness, that is working against this word, that is working against this Torah. I operate in the power, the exousia, the dunamos you gave me, and I take authority over it on the eretz. Abba, I pray that you would honor me in the Shamayim, as Yahushua said. Whatever we bind on earth shall be bound in the Shamayim. Whatever we loose on earth shall be loosed in the Shamayim. Yahuah, I release your word from my lips by your Ruach HaKodesh. I pray that it would quicken and make alive, Yahuah, everyone that hears. And Yahuah, I pray that the words of my mouth and the meditation of my heart would be acceptable in thy sight. Yahuah, my strength and my redeemer. Hallelujah. We've listened to none other than Hezekiah. The song is entitled Freedom's Win 1.5. And I don't own the rights to this music. Again, I love this Aki. I love his prophetic nature. I believe that he is a prophet of Yahuah to be used in this day to bring a word, right? To bring a word. And it's for those who have an ear to hear. This word is for those who have an ear to hear. And I praise the Most High Yahuah for the witness, right? So, Yahuah has called me to cry loud and to spare not. He's called me to lift up my voice like a trumpet in Zion, right? Yahuah has told me to tell you that you must be born again, right? Being born again is not an option, right? It's not an option. It's accepting Yahushua's witness is not an option, right? If you're Yahudah'S, this is the way. Yahushua has brought the truth of the Torah. He has brought the light into the world. And we who have accepted this witness are operating as he is in the earth, or we should be operating as he is in the earth. The objective should be that we understand the necessity of being born again of the water and the Ruach HaKodesh. The objective is to understand that there is no entering into the kingdom, there is no seeing Yahuwah's kingdom without participating in this witness. You must receive this witness. There is no escaping judgment without this witness. You got to be born again. And Yahuwah has told me to let you know to get ready. Get ready, get ready, get ready, get ready, get ready for the great reveal. Right? Yahuwah is going to reveal his children, and he's going to reveal this judgment, and he's preparing you, he's calling you to prepare yourself to leave Babylon. You have to understand that this word, this revelation, this truth of leaving Babylon is only going to come to those who are in his witness. Those who receive the water, the blood, and the Ruach HaKodesh. Because see, Yahuwah is concerned about his. He doesn't care about the world. Yahuwah cares about those that he knows that he has chosen. Now, Yahuwah is a merciful Elohiym, and he has called Yeshua to everyone who have an ear to hear. He has called forth Yeshua. Right, but not everybody's going to receive Yeshua. Right? Because people love their sin. Everybody's not going to receive Yeshua because people love their sin. Right? Yahuwah knows that these people have no intentions whatsoever with receiving his witness. He knows these people are sealed. They are sealed to destruction, much like Pharaoh was sealed to a judgment. Sealed to destruction. Children of Yashar'el, Yahudah, that have been brought into the various countries scattered throughout the four corners of the earth. Their seed and their descendants are not all going to receive Yeshua. Yahuwah is not going to gather up a bunch of rebels and take them somewhere. Yahuwah has established this Yeshua, this salvation that's in a Mashiach. This Yeshua that's in a Mashiach is the game changer, right? See, he couldn't deliver you out of captivity, right? Until he frees you in the witness. He couldn't bring you out until you recognized that you had to be born again of the water and the Ruach HaKodesh, and you had to keep his laws, statutes, and commandments. You had to do it with the faith in a Mashiach. See, you will set the call. a wake-up call to Yehudah. This call has gone forth. This call has gone forth to the other nations. Not all, but to everyone that would receive this witness. Only those who receive this witness is going to understand. Get ready, get ready, get ready, get ready. Only those who have been born again of the Ruach HaKodesh, the water and the blood, are going to understand to get ready, get ready, get ready, get ready. Only those who have been born again of the water and of the Ruach HaKodesh is going to understand they need to flee the daughter of Babylon. And the daughter of Babylon is not the destruction of entire Babylon. The daughter of Babylon is the harlot, right, that was instrumental, right, in bringing these other nations into this harlotry, right? Babylon. You know, they got a movie out called Babylon. Yeah. Movie. Just released. 2023. It's called Babylon. See, now I didn't watch it. I seen the trailer. Yahuah was direct, right, concerning what we were to do concerning Babylon. Now, see, understand, right. It took him making us born again to be able to understand, right, that what he has done in Yahushua HaMashiach, in Emunah, we have everything we need to get the job done. Right? We don't need Yahuah taking us by the hand, right, and leading us out of Babylon. You just need to go. You need to make ready. Make preparations. See, in the Ruach HaKodesh of Yahuah, he's going to speak to you by his Ruach in you, and he's going to tell you what to do. He's going to tell you when to do it. He's going to cause your exit to be successful from Babylon. See, and listen, exiting Babylon, leaving Babylon, is not coming out of this system and establishing someplace up in the mountains off grid. That's not going to stop the judgment of Babylon from falling on Babylon. Right? That ain't going to protect you. You know, you have these nations, this nation, right? They've got underground bunkers, they're storing up food, right? They're preparing. But how are you going to escape the judgment of Yahuah? How? How are you going to escape in caves and underground from the judgment of Yahuah. Now, see, you have to understand that you got to flee Babylon. Listen, there's a great migration from the United States of America. Now, it's documented that these people, these Europeans, are leaving Babylon. They're leaving the United States of America. Some of them, they're going home to their lands. Some of them are going to other countries, but they leave in the whore. It's documented. They're migrating out of this country. This whore. But see, we gotta ask ourselves questions. We gotta have forums. We gotta have discussions on whether or not we should go to the continent. Why should we go to the continent? Maybe we should just go to visit the continent. Yahuah told you to flee Babylon. Why in the world would you interpret flee as going, then coming back, and going, and then coming back? I'm convinced that Yahudah is not in the word enough. No, I'm convinced that Yahudah is not led by the Ruach HaKodesh. I'm convinced that a large part of this nation that are on the United States and on these other continents are not in Yahuwah's witness. They don't have the Ruach HaKodesh. They don't move in the Ruach HaKodesh. Because in the Ruach HaKodesh, you're going to understand what Scripture says. How would you equate, right, fleeing Babylon as I'm going to stay here and hunker down? I'm going to stay here and wait for Yahuah to take us out. He said he ain't doing that. This ain't Egypt. For if that first, Hebrews 8 and 7, and I'm going to preach this. I don't care who likes it. I don't care what you think. You know, listen, I got to tell you what Yahuah says, and he gives me. He says, for if that first, a covenant was added, that first, referencing that first agreement, that first contract, right, had been faultless. If it was a contract that was without fault, right, then should no place have been sought for a second, right. So the fault is not in the Torah. The fault is not in the covenant. The fault is with our fathers for finding fault with them. He said, behold, the days come, saith Adonai, right? Saith Adonai, when I will make a renewed covenant with the house of Yashar'el and with the house of Yahudah. Right? Jeremiah 31 and 31. Behold, the day cometh, saith Yahuah, that I will make a renewed covenant with the house of Yisrael and with the house of Yahudah. Now this is Shaul quoting Isaiah. Not according to the covenant that I made with their fathers in the day that I took them by the hand to bring them out of the land of Mitsrayim, which my covenant they break, although I was a husband to them. It's not that covenant. See, I physically took you by the hand. Right? You weren't capable because your heart wasn't right. When I brought you out of Mitsrayim, you were still wicked. There was an atonement for you that protected you from the death angel. But when I took you out of your hands, out of Egypt, you weren't repentant. That lamb was a Passover lamb. It passed over you and judged everybody else, not because you were sinless, but because you obeyed and you put the blood on the Torah posts as Moshe had instructed. He said, but listen. But this shall be the covenant, Jeremiah 31 and 33, right? But this shall be the covenant that I will make with the house of Yashar'el after those days. After those days. Right? Right? Saith Adonai, I will put my law in their inner parts. How do you propose that Yahuah is going to put his law in your inner parts? And I will write them on their hearts, and will be their Elohiym, and they shall be my people. How do you think Yahuah did this? How do you think he did it? He put in us. We became born again of the water and the Ruach. See, because you know, unless you have his laws, his Torah in your inner parts, right? Because the Torah is the Torah is the Torah of truth, right? And write them on their hearts. How is this possible? Right? Because see, our forefathers couldn't have this. Right? See, because they weren't born again of the water and the Ruach. They weren't born again of the Ruach HaKodesh. Right. See, when you devalue the witness of Yahushua Mashiach, when you devalue, right, the atonement of Hamashiach, and you say that Yahushua is not the son of Yahuah, or when you say Yahushua is not what salvation is, right, you just like your fathers. See, but you ain't leading you no more by the hand. See, because he's going to deal with the sin issue in Hamashiach. You see, when he deals with the sin issue and he puts the Torah in your heart and he puts his Ruach HaKodesh in your heart, he's going to give you what you need in exousia and dunamos to get the job done. see, even when Yahushua was talking to his disciples, because his disciples asked him, he says, Adonai, when will these things be? He was talking to the chosen. They were going to escape. Those who were in the witness, who understand this Yeshua that the apostles had preached and taught, they would understand. The Yahudah'S that were in Jerusalem that understood what Yahushua was saying left. Oh yeah, they left. They fled. Yahuwah didn't have to take them out of the hand. They fled. They went into the interiors. It was 70 years later. But they had started leaving. I ain't doing it like I did it before. Jeremiah 20:25. Behold, the days cometh, saith Yahuwah, that I will rise unto David a righteous branch. Let's start at the 23rd, Jeremiah 23:1. Flee Babylon. Woe be unto the pastors that destroy and scatter the sheep of my pastures, saith Yahuwah. Judgment. Right? Now this is the coming of Yahushua Mashiach. Jeremiah's prophesied. Right? And the priests and the Levites that had scattered. Right? Pharisees and the Sadducees. The leaders. The elders. The judges. Therefore, thus saith Adonai, Yahuah Elohai of Yashar'el against the pastors that feed my people. Ye have scattered my flocks and driven them away, and have not visited them. Behold, I will visit upon you evil for your doings, saith Yahuwah. He's going to visit these pastors because of their evil doings. That had scattered his flocks. That had made merchandise of his flock. That instead of telling them they were the people, because they knew, they kept it from them. They didn't tell them who they were. Hid their identity from them. I will gather the remnant of my flocks out of all countries whither I have driven them. Now listen, understand this. Right? Understand this. Let's do this. Let's do this. Right? Right. The Hebrew word for gather.
Strong's H, 6908.
Kavats. Kavats, right? To assemble. To assemble. Now, what is this remnant assembled under? What is caused this remnant to come together? We're talking about a Mashiach, the righteous branch. You, I pray, let your word go forth. Enoch, the 93rd chapter, the 12th verse. Right? After in the 7th week a perverse generation shall arise, and abundant shall be its deeds, and all its deeds perverse. See, now, if you can't see this world, it's perversion, right? If you can't see this United Snakes perversion, if you can't see Hollywood, it's perversion. If you can't see the perversion that these people that have been operating in this authority that has had this dominion, right? If you can't see the perversity in what they're doing, you're in a strong delusion. He says, and all its deeds perverse, but during the end of the 7th week, right? 7th week, right? During its completion, the righteous shall be selected, the remnant shall be selected, the remnant shall be assembled, the remnant shall be brought together, they will be one, right? The remnant shall be selected from an everlasting plant. Selected from a plant. Shall be selected from a plant. Right? Shall be selected from an everlasting plant of righteousness. A plant that is everlasting, from everlasting to everlasting. A plant. Yahudah, the 15th chapter. Right? Yahudah, the 15th chapter, starting at the first verse. I am the true plant. I am the true plant. And my Father is the caretaker of the plant. Right? Every branch in me that beareth not fruit, he takes away. Many are called, but few are chosen. he discards. He cuts off. To prune is to cut off the dead. And see, you know, you could be producing fruit, but in order for you to produce more fruit, there's elements of what your branch is, or the offshoots of your branch, right, that has to be pruned off, right? See, I learned this, right, when I was planting peppers, right? You know, you get peppers, you know, and, you know, they start to grow, but, you know, sometimes the growth starts to slow down. Well, what you get is a lot of little offshoots from the bottom, right? Little branches, little offshoots that come up. So what you got to do is, because they draw from the rest of the plant, so what you got to do is you got to prune that off, right? Right? You got to take it off. You got to take it off. You got to take it off. So that the bulk of the plant up top will produce more. Every branch in me that beareth not fruit, he, the husbandman, Abba Yahuah, every branch that beareth fruit, he taketh away, Abba. Every branch that beareth fruit, he purges, that it may bring forth more fruit. But I am that righteous plant that's producing righteous plants, or producing righteous vines. Every branch in me that beareth fruit, the Father prunes. He says, and the righteous shall be selected from an everlasting plant of righteousness, and to them shall be given the sevenfold doctrine of creation. The sevenfold ruachs. The ruach of wisdom. The ruach of wisdom and understanding. The ruach of Yahuah. The ruach of wisdom. The ruach of understanding. The ruach of counsel. The ruach of might. The ruach of knowledge. And the ruach of the fear of Yahuah. Sevenfold doctrine. Righteousness selected from the everlasting plant, because Yahusha is divine. Yahusha is divine. Yahusha is divine. Yahusha is divine. Listen. This Yeshua is in Hamashiach Yahusha. This Yeshua is in Hamashiach Yahusha. This Yeshua is in Hamashiach Yahusha. He's assembled a remnant that is that selected righteousness from the plant, the vine of Yahusha. See, he's going to give us in this sevenfold ruach, right, everything we need in doctrine everything that we need in understanding, in wisdom, in Yahuwah's Ruach, in the fear of Yahuwah. Everything we need. And you know what he's putting this in Yahushua HaMashiach's witness. And I will gather a remnant. Right? A remnant.
Strong's H 7611. She'erith.
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 Second entry. She'erith.
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 It is a residue. A residue. Residue. Residue is, it's not a lot. A remainder. What's left. Right? A remainder of what's, and that's not what's left after a destruction necessarily. That's what's left after those who receive the witness that he knows that he has chosen, and those that he knows that have no intentions on receiving the witness of being born again of the water and the Ruach HaKodesh, that likes the status quo. They do not want to change. A remainder or residue, surviving, final. Hezekiah said, there's no more, Hezekiah, my Aki, in the song, he says, there ain't no more going to Egypt, there's no more, how does he say it? He says there's no more captivity. Judgment. Ain't no more captivity for us. It's judgment. If you ain't received this witness, there's judgment. You ain't gathering you gonna receive his judgment. Because you have not deemed his salvation as necessary for you at the time in which he's offered it. Yahuwah is calling me to tell you that you must be born again of the water and of the Ruach HaKodesh. Right? You have to be born again. Gotta receive this witness. That had escaped. Listen, I've escaped judgment because I've entered into the witness of Yahuwah. I've escaped judgment because I've been born again of the water and of the Ruach HaKodesh. I've been made free. He has given me the earnest of my inheritance because I believed. And he sealed me with his Ruach HaKodesh. Listen, there is no Ruach HaKodesh apart from the witness of Yahushua Mashiach. You ain't giving you no Ruach HaKodesh apart from the apart from Yahushua Mashiach's witness. No, not since he sent Yahushua. Right? No, not since he sent Yahushua HaMashiach. He ain't putting his Ruach HaKodesh on anybody except those who've received the witness. Those who have been swept clean. whose temple is clean and varnished, those who have been down in the water, those who have received atoning blood, those who've received his Ruach HaKodesh, they are those that Yahuah has sealed. They're the remnant. They're the remainder. See, when Yahuah is calling Yahudah first, because Yahudah is going to lead by example. That remnant is. That remnant is going to understand that they got to be born again of the water and the Ruach HaKodesh. That remnant is going to hear Yahuah's word and going to hear him because his sheep hear his voice. As many as are led by the Ruach HaKodesh of Yahuah that hear his voice, these are the sons of Yahuah. And to hear his voice is not necessarily always something that you hear here. It's something that you hear here. Right? Because the Ruach of Yahuah is in your belly. The Ruach HaKodesh of Yahuah is your inners, in your inners. So from your inners, you are going to understand what it is that you need to do. That's why, when I get up and I pray and I dance before Yahuah, Yahuah tell me, Yahuah just, I woke up this morning, Yahuah told me, just praise me. And I just started praising him. Just praising him, just walking around the house praising him. Then he said, dance for me. And then I started praising him and dancing and praising him, and praising him and dancing, and thanking him, and praising him and dancing and thanking him. Right? And I did that for a while, and then he told me, okay, go lay down. Wouldn't lay down. He spoke that out in my Ruach. If you could speak to my Ruach and tell me to get up and praise him, guess what? He's going to tell me when and how to exit stage left. He's going to give me what I need in the Ruach HaKodesh to get it done. Don't confuse the gathering for some mass exodus. Because it's only a remnant, right? Because he says here, I will gather a remnant of my flock from all countries. I will gather a remnant. I'm going to bring a group that is in oneness in the Ruach HaKodesh of Yahuah, and they're going to make an they're going to exit stage left. They're going to go. They're going to be going by the Ruach HaKodesh of Yahuah, looking for where they need to be. He said, the remnant of my flocks out of all countries, whither I have driven. See, I put you there. But in the witness of Yahushua Mashiach, having been born again of the water Ruach HaKodesh, and I'm not talking about Christian insanity. Christian insanity is that beast that caused the whole world to be darkened. That's that mixture of religion and paganism. This ain't that. This witness, this born again witness of the water and the Ruach HaKodesh is the true witness. This is the witness of Yahushua Mashiach. This is not the earth pig. This is not the Su, the Sui, the Isu. It's not that. This is not El. This is not Baal. This is not Lord Baal. This is not that. She's not that. This witness is what's going to pull you from out of Babylon. Well, the witness is going to pull you out of Babylon. Because you know what? When you are in the Ruach HaKodesh of Yahuah, you know Yahuah's Ruach HaKodesh, and you're seeking to be led by the Ruach HaKodesh. Not advancing your own program. Not advancing your own agenda. But looking to move forth in the Ruach HaKodesh of Yahuah, right? You're going to do what Yahuah says to do. There's no debate. You got to go home. You Yahudah. You got to go home. It ain't an option. Oh, well, we just trying to figure out, because, you got people confused about the continent, yeah, we know the propaganda. We know what they've done, but listen, we have the Ruach HaKodesh of Yahuah. With the Ruach HaKodesh of Yahuah, since when do we listen and obey and take hold of what they say? Listen, the eyes of your understanding have been enlightened. You know what the hope of your calling is. You got to go home. Yahudah's a lion's whelp. Your hands are going to be on the neck of your enemies. It's the end of the 7th week. Yahushua is establishing righteousness from an everlasting. Yahuwah is establishing righteousness from an everlasting righteousness. He's establishing a remnant. He said, I will gather the remnant of my flock out of all countries. I will assemble my people. I'm going to speak to them by the Ruach HaKodesh. And I'm going to tell them what they need to do. Some of us, he may tell to go now. Some of us, he may tell to go later. But we going to go when Yahuah in the Ruach HaKodesh tells us to go. And to go is to go back to the continent. To go is to go back to the continent. To start is where we were taken from. And from there, we move as Yahuah directs. But we have to be in our lanes. We have to have foots on the ground, boots on the ground in our lands. Yahuah is telling us to flee Babylon, to go home. It's interesting because there's so much propaganda. If you don't have the Ruach HaKodesh, man, goodness gracious, you're going to be tossed about by every wind of doctrine. You're going to be so tossed about by every, you're going to be tossed about, the Americas was populated by black people. Right? Well, initially when the whole continent was one continent, one landmass, sure, right? But you know what? The Native American aren't Shem. 12 tribes are on the continent of Africa. Asherus is not going to the United States. trying to teach the role of the Comedics in the Egyptian and Egyptology and the origin of man and, all of this different stuff. See, but our source is Torah. We draw our information from the volumes of the book. Hasatan is going to turn it up. And that's why it's only going to be a remnant. Because only a remnant is going to be born again of the water and the Ruach HaKodesh, and they're going to hear. They're going to assemble. And they're going to move. They're going to go. There's no debate on whether or not we should leave or go. It's not a debate. When I first, I think I said this before, when Ron Dalton, first started saying, Judah, it's time to go. Right? I started thinking, right? Right? I started listening, I listened to his documentary, and then I listened to B'nai Israel. We did that whole thing about ancestry, and my true ancestry, and I began to understand that my origin is on the continent, right? Because all the data that I put in there supports that Igbo, Bantu, right, on the continent, right? Then of course I did my African ancestry. Right? Nowhere my DNA is now, right? On the west coast of Africa, right? But at the end of the day, the lines have been drawn and the territories have changed, right? Right? But at the end of the day, I know I'm from an area that I know. Yahuah wants me to go home. In the Ruach of Yahuah. Our people on the continent don't have a concept about the witness, the Ruach HaKodesh of Yahuah like that. Not everybody. I won't suggest everybody does, because I know some Akis over there and that serving Yahuah and have the Ruach HaKodesh. But the vast majority of the people that I'm hearing from on the continent, they heavily into their ancestral Ruachs, and they have their own way of thinking, and they understand what's morally right, which is Torah. They have a Torah, right? But to turn to the witness of Yahushua Mashiach, our people need to understand that, And in order for them to get it from us, we have to go home. In order for Yehudah to be him who his brother shall praise, he has to go home. You can't be the praise of your Yashar'el on the continent. On the continent, if you here in United States of America, debating over whether or not you should stay or go, because you had this misconception about babies and swole bellies, and come on, man, come on, they going over in the droves. They going to visit, the party, to have fun. They going over, but they tell you not to go. But see, that's the crafty divide of the device of Hasatan, because he knows that you are whom your brother will praise. He knows that your hands are going to be on his neck. He doesn't want you. He said, listen, whither I've driven them, and I will bring them again into their folds. And now Yahuah declares the end from the beginning. So when you hear Yahuah speaks like this, right, then he's going to tell you what he's doing and what his plans are to do now. You always tells you declares the end at the beginning. If you understand scriptures as he says it, then you'll understand where things fall. He says, listen. He said, I will gather the remnant of my flocks out of all countries. And again, to gather does not mean to gather and scoop everybody and make everybody go at the same time. Right? He's gathering. He's bringing a oneness to a remnant. He's assembling a remnant. And that remnant is going to leave Babylon. They're going to come out of the daughter of Babylon. The daughter of Babylon is going down first before Babylon is destroyed. See, because these wicked nations are going to grieve over the destruction of the United Snakes of America. They're going to hiss at her. Okay? Right? He says, I will gather the remnant of my flocks out of all countries, whither I have driven them, and I will bring them again to their folds. Where's our fold? Where's our fold? In our lands. Where's our fold? In our lands. Where are the 12 tribes on the continent of Africa? See, when you understand this, you understand that you have to go. It's not even an option. I don't have the option to say, well, I'll live over here and I'll live over there. No. 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 You don't tell Yahuah what he is giving you instructions to do. We gonna sit over here and we gonna have our commune, and I'm gonna have discussions on YouTube about the political events of the United Snakes of America. You done bumped your Babylon is falling, and you and your people gonna fall right along with it. If they do not have his ruach and hear his voice, guess what? They're gonna fall. You a hate group. They know exactly where you are. And the militia. Yeah, they know exactly where y'all at. Are we ready? You think? Okay. You wait when they start, because you know these militias, they've been stealing from the government weapons and munitions for years. Oh, the militia. Yeah. They got weapons, right? They got bombs, they got arsenal that they can just deploy on you. Right? You be like Beirut. He says, I'll bring them to their fold, and they shall be fruitful and increase. Right? So we're talking about a place where the remnant is going to leave. They're going to leave Babylon and go where their fold is. And they're going to be fruitful. We're going to be fruitful on the continent. We're going to be fruitful in the witness. We're going to be him whom my brethren will praise. We're going to be fruitful. And we're going to increase. See, y'all trying to build wealth in the United Snakes of America. Trying to build wealth in the United States of America. Trying to build wealth in the United States of America. It's Babylon. He says here, and I will set up shepherds over them which shall feed them. He's going to have men of Yahuah who have Yahuah's Ruach HaKodesh that are going to feed the people. The Torah, the Basur, the Word. They're going to honor Shabbat. They're going to honor Shavuos and feast days. They're going to flourish righteously. And they shall fear no more, nor be dismayed, neither shall they be lacking, saith Yahuah. Right. So you know, look, fear. Look, man, we in the United States of America. Every time we drive out in our cars, and we African American men, you know, we don't operate in fear, but we always have that in the back of our mind that something can happen to us. People, something can happen to us. You know, my wife knows that. She's European. She knows at any given time, you know, she said, you know what, she begun to realize that it's different. You know, anything can happen to me, right? Anybody can say anything about me or what I do. You know, I put a camera in my car, Uber, when I Uber. I hit the button, record everybody. Right? I told her, I said, babe, you know, I think I'm going to put a camera in the car. She said, yeah, you better. That would be probably one of the smartest moves you can make, because you know what? It'd be your word against theirs, and if they're white, fear. You know, and it's interesting. Most of the people that go back to the continent, the one thing that they say, they don't live in fear. Our people. Yashar'el and Yehudah went back to the continent. They don't live in fear. Fear no more, nor be dismayed. Neither shall they be lacking, saith you. Why won't they be lacking? Because they're the remnant that has obeyed Yahuah's voice. They have his Ruach HaKodesh. They operate in the sevenfold spirits of the Ruach. They go out and they do what Yahuah says. They get to the land. They're in their fold. They're amongst their people. Fold. People. They're amongst their people. Ain't nothing lacking. He said, listen, behold, the days come, saith Yahuah. Another time. Behold, the day comes, saith Yahuah, that I will rise unto Dawid a righteous branch. That's Yahushua Mashiach. A righteous branch. A righteous branch. Righteousness selected from an everlasting plan of righteousness. Yahushua says, I am the vine and my Father is the husbandman. Every branch in me that bears forth fruit, the Father prunes it so that it brings forth more. Every branch in me that don't bear fruit, he cut it off. Excuse me. He cut it off. Behold, the day comes of Satan. Now this is YIRMEYAHU predicting the birth and the coming of Yahushua Mashiach. He said, listen. I will raise unto Dawid a righteous branch. I will raise. Suggesting that it's from his youth up. Right? To raise up is to bring up. To bring up is to suggest from the point in which he was birthed up until the time that he was Yahushua HaMashiach, the adult, preaching the Basur and the Torah, dying for the sins of his people. He says, I will raise unto Dawid a righteous branch, And a king shall reign and prosper, and shall execute judgment and justice on the Eretz. Prophetic. Yahushua HaMashiach. Yahushua HaMashiach. He's Shiloh. The scepter shall not depart from Yahudah. In his day, Yahudah shall be saved. And Yashar'el shall dwell safely. Because when we go back to the fold, we go back home. Right? We are out of Babylon with its fear, with its uncertainty, right? Right? With its hatred, right? We go back home to the fold. Righteousness, a remnant. And we gonna go waiting for Yahusha to the point in which he puts down all his enemies. Because that's yet to come. That's yet to come. Listen, we gonna be on the Eretz. We gonna be on the continent. We are going to be thriving as Yahudah on the land in the folds amongst our brethren. And a king shall reign and prosper, and shall execute judgment and justice in the Eretz. That's the 8th week, right? He says here in the 8th week. And after that, there shall be an 8th, a week, other week, the 8th of righteousness. And it shall be given a sword to execute judgment and justice upon all oppressors. But he has to raise up a remnant first. He has to raise up a righteous from an everlasting plant. He has to have people established in the witness that are born again of the water and of the Ruach HaKodesh, who has been given the sevenfold Ruachs, the Ruach HaKodesh. Behold, the day cometh, saith Yahuwah, that I will raise unto David a righteous branch. Right? Yahushua Mashiach. Savior. And a king. So he's going to be Savior as a righteous branch. Because he is divine, and everyone that's in him bears forth fruit. Right? He's a righteous branch. And a king. And a king shall reign and prosper, and shall execute judgment and justice in the Eretz. And this in his day, Yahudah shall be saved. In his day, Yahudah shall be saved. In his day, Yahudah shall be saved. Yahudah shall receive Yeshua. I'm Yahudah. I've received Yeshua. I'm saved. And Yisrael shall dwell safely. Right? And this is his name, whereby he shall be called the Yahuwah of righteousness. Righteousness shall be taken from an everlasting plan of righteousness. He says, therefore, behold, the days come, and saith Yahuwah, that they shall no more say Yahuwah liveth, which brought the children of Yisrael out of the land of Mitsrayim. Why is it that Yahuah is not bringing the children of Yisrael out of the land of Mitsrayim? Because they have received the witness of Yahushua HaMashiach and they are born again. They are his seed. But Yahuah liveth, which brought out and led his seed of the house of Yashar'el out of the north country and from the other country. Now, right? But Yahuah liveth that brought and which led. He purchased their Yeshua. Yahushua purchased their Yeshua. Right? He bought their salvation. Right? He brought their salvation. Right? He said, listen, but Yahuah liveth, which brought up, right, and which led the seed. These men are led by the Ruach HaKodesh. These are the sons and daughters of Yahuah. It ain't Mitsrayim. It's in this witness. You have to be born again of the water of the Ruach HaKodesh. You have to be in the righteous vine. You have to receive his Ruach HaKodesh. He said, therefore, behold, the days come, saith Yahuah, that they shall say no more, Yahuah liveth, which brought up the children of Israel out of the land of Mitsrayim. They ain't gonna say that. Right? They ain't gonna say that. They're not gonna say that. Where are we at? Where are we at? Let me do this. I have to pull it up again. I must have out of it. I don't see what I did, but I must have. For finding fault with them, he said, behold, the days come, and saith Adonai, that I will make a renewed covenant with the house of Yashar'el and with the house of Yahudah. Right? A renewed covenant that requires water, blood, and the Ruach HaKodesh. In order to be partakers in this renewed covenant, you have to have come by the way of the water, the blood, and the Ruach HaKodesh. Not according to the covenant that I made with their fathers in the day that I took them by the hand and led them out of Egypt. I ain't doing it that way. I'm not doing it that way. I'm not doing it that way. That's not what I'm doing. That's not what I'm doing. Jeremiah 23:7. Therefore, behold, the days come, saith Yahuah, that they shall no more say, Yahuah liveth, which brought the children of Yisrael out of the land of Mitsrayim. They ain't gonna say that. Hebrews 8:9. Not according to the covenant that I made with their fathers in the day when I took them by the hand and led them out of the land of Mitsrayim, because they continued not in my covenant, and I regarded them not, saith Yahuah. For this is the covenant that I will make with the house of Yashar'el in those days, saith Yahuah, Adonai, Yahuah. I will put my Torah into their minds, and I write them in their hearts, and I will be unto them their Elohiym, and they shall be my people. Therefore, behold, the days come, saith Yahuah, that they shall say no more, Yahuah liveth, which brought thee out of the land of Mitsrayim. The children of Yashar'el should not say, Yahuah has brought us out of the land of Mitsrayim, because it's a renewed covenant. But Yahuah liveth, which brought up, which led. How's he going to lead us? By the Ruach HaKodesh, which he puts in us. The remnant has the witness. The remnant has been purchased. The remnant has been brought up in the witness. The remnant has been purchased. The remnant, right, in this Ruach HaKodesh, this water and this blood, right, have been made alive. We have Yahuah's Ruach HaKodesh. He says, but Yahuah liveth, which brought up and led the seed of the house of Yashar'el out of the countries of the north. He led them. How does Yahuah lead us? Because he ain't doing it by the hand. See, this is the difference. We are his seed, because he's put his seed in us. We are born again. We have his witness on the inside of us. This treasure, this seed, this earnest, is on in the inside of us. Excuse me. The seed led the seed. What's that Hebrew word? Hebrew word for seed.
Strong's H2233. Zerah.
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 Zerah. Zerah. It means seed sowing offspring. First Yehukanan 3:1. Beloved, what manner of love the Father, Abba, hath bestowed upon us, right? That we should be called the sons and daughters of Elohiym. Father's love. His offspring. Therefore the world knoweth us not, because it knew him not. Why doesn't the world know him? Because the world doesn't have his spirit. We have his spirit, we have his seed, we have his Ruach HaKodesh. We are in his witness, right? Beloved, now are we the sons and the daughters of Elohiym. And it does not yet appear what we shall be, right? But we know that when he shall appear, we shall be like him, for we shall see him as he is. And every man that haveth this hope in himself purifies himself, even as he is pure. Sons. 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 Right? Offspring. Offsprings, descendants, posterity, children. Right? Right? That's seed. That's seed. That's seed. Right? But Yahuah liveth. Because they ain't going to say it is Yahuah that led us out of Mitsrayim by the hand. Because he ain't doing that. He's not doing that. Only the people that is moving are the people who are in the remnant, who are the people who are in the witness, who are the people that are his seed, that are sons and daughters, who are the people who have his Ruach HaKodesh. And so he's going to lead them by the Ruach HaKodesh. He ain't got to physically take us by the hand. He's going to lead us. But Elohiym liveth, which brought up and which led the seed. Because the only people he's leading is the people who have his Ruach. The only people he's leading is people who hear his voice. The only people who hear his voice is the people who have his Ruach HaKodesh. Seed of the house of Yisrael. Out of the north country and from all countries, whither I have driven them, and they shall dwell where? In their own land. There is no place for Yashar'el in Babylon. There's no place for Yehudah in Babylon. Yahuah is not leading you to stay in Babylon. He is calling you to get ready, get ready, get ready, get ready. Prepare yourself to leave, because this whore, this wicked whore is going to be destroyed. She's the daughter. The daughter has to go. These other nations know that the daughter has to go. China, Russia, all these countries know that the United States has to go. Israel, that land over there, that territory, they know, and they've helped facilitate her wickedness, but they know she got to go. They know they got extra slaves left too, because they bringing in their own. listen, right? Right, so, you know, he's trying to say, well, you know, the abomination of desolation is going to occur, right? When the beast is revealed in the temple in Jerusalem. Abomination of desolation already occurred. But listen, understand this, right? Right? That ain't Yahuah's temple. That ain't Yahuah's temple. That ain't Yahuah's temple. That land ain't consecrated. Actually, the land of Yahuah is wasted. The land of Yahudah has been parted. Yahuah has been parted. These nations parted his lands. They already did it. But Yahuah liveth, which brought up and which led the seed of the house, the seed of the house, those that are sons and daughter by posterity. You see, we his sons and daughters because we've received his ruach. Not because we're E1B1A. Yahuah ain't leading. Yahuah ain't speaking to nobody that don't have his ruach. Not now. Not this time. He leads men that are led by the Ruach HaKodesh. And they're the sons of Yahuah. They're the daughters of Yahuah. But Yahuah liveth, which brought up and which led the seed of the house of Yashar'el out of the north country, and all the countries whither he has driven them. Yahuah says, Jeremiah 50:8, remove out of the midst of Babylon, and go forth out of the land of the Chaldees, and be as the he-goats before the flock. For lo, I will raise and cause to come up against Babylon an assembly, a great nation from the north country, and they shall set themselves in array against her. From hence she shall be taken. Their arrows shall be as a mighty and expert, and none shall return in vain. And Chaldees shall be a spoil, and all that spoiled her shall be satisfied, says Yahuah. Because ye were glad, because ye rejoiced, O ye destroyers of mine heritage. Because ye grown fat as a heifer, as grass, and bellowed as a bull. Your mother shall be sore confounded. Your mother. The mother of this whore. The mother of the United Snakes of America. The owner of the corporation. Your mother shall be sore confounded. She that bare you shall be ashamed. Behold, the hindermost of the nations shall be a wilderness, a dry land and a desert. Because of the wrath of Yahuah, it shall not be inhabited. So y'all want to stay in Babylon. Y'all want to stay in the whore. Y'all trying to come to a conclusion on whether or not, you should go or stay. You're trying to have dialogue on why it's necessary to leave. At the end of the day, the only people that are going to go are the people that receive Yahushua's Ruach HaKodesh, that's been born again of the water and Ruach HaKodesh, who are the remnant. You got some of them already over there. Flee, Jeremiah 51:6, flee out of the midst of Babylon and deliver every man his soul, and be not cut off in her iniquities, for this is the time of Yahuwah's vengeance, and he will remember on her recompense. He's going to avenge the United States of America. He's going to recompense her. Listen, but don't you stay. Don't you stay, because listen, he says, don't you stay. He says, because the wrath of Yahuah, it shall not be inhabited. I don't care what they say about all of this food that they stored up, and put in bunkers. And listen, that's all going to come down on them. What you think, they're going to be able to escape Yahuwah's judgment and the wrath of these other nations? It's going to leave this place desolate? You think they're going to pop up down the road later and say, we made it, we escaped. No, them caves is going to come in. Because the wrath of Yahuwah, it shall not be inhabited, but it shall be wholly desolated. Every one that goeth to Babylon shall be astonished and hiss at her plague. Flee out of the midst of Babylon, Jeremiah 51:6, and deliver every man his soul, deliver every woman her soul. Be not cut off in her iniquity, for this is the time of Yahuwah's vengeance, and he will render unto her a recompense. 51:45, my people, go ye out of the midst of her, and deliver every man, every woman, his soul, from the fierce anger of Yahuwah. Get ready. Yahuwah has called me to cry loud and despair now, to lift up my voice like a trumpet, to warn his people that they must be born again in order to be his seed, in order to hear his voice, in order to know when it's time to go. He ain't taking you by the hand. This ain't Mitsrayim. He ain't bringing a bunch of wicked Hebrews over to the continent. That is not his plan. Now, if you got some brews that decide to leave the United States of America, just because they don't like it here no more, they want to go over to the continent, and they have no association with, Hebrew walk or Christian faith or anything, go. You can go. You brew. You Hebrew. But at the end of the day, if you choose to stay, Babylon's fault. There's no escaping. And if you have his Ruach HaKodesh, you say you have his Ruach HaKodesh, then this should make sense to you. This should resonate in you. You should be on your knees before Yahuwah saying, Yahuwah, I'm trusting you to give me what I need to leave this United States and go home, to be amongst the fold. To be amongst the fold, to be amongst our people. Yahuwah, I'm going. Man of Yah, woman of Yah, listen, that's all we have for today. Abba Yahuwah, I pray right now in the name of Yahushua Mashiach that your word would go forth as you have declared it to go, and that it would not return unto you void. Yahuwah, I know there's someone out here that's heard this word and hear this call and are seeking you for a way to escape. Yahuwah, to get free from Babylon, who are trusting you in the Ruach HaKodesh to give them a word, to give them a direction, to give them what they need financially to make the transition. Abba Yahuwah, I pray that you would give them all what they need. In the name of Yahushua Mashiach, everyone what they need to get the job done. Abba Yahuwah, and those who have more, that they may be able to give to a brother or a sister or a family. Yahuwah, that is in this witness, I pray that you would make that available. Abba, let the words of my mouth and the meditation of my heart be acceptable in thy sight. Yahuwah, my strength and my redeemer. Man of Yah, woman of Yah, called to greatness. Listen, woman of Yahuwah, beautifully and wonderfully made to you. Today Yahuwah has favored you. This is not a discussion of whether or not we should go or not. This has never been a discussion for Yehudah, us who have been brought to this continent, of whether or not we should stay in this wicked night as snakes of America or go home. You must return home. Now, if you choose not to return home, you want to stay here, you go right ahead. You go ahead. You want to go to another country, you go right ahead. But at the end of the day, Yahuwah is calling you to go home. Calling you to come and be amongst the fold. Some of us are he-goats or he-rams. Right? We go before the flock. But the fold is on the continent of Africa. That's where we belong. So man of Yah, woman of Yah, called to greatness. Woman of Yahuwah, beautifully and wonderfully made. Queens, daughters of Yahuwah. Listen. Hear the word of Yahuwah. Get ready, get ready, get ready, get ready, get ready for the great reveal. You got to prepare yourself to go, right? Prepare yourself to go. You might save money. Get a passport. Get a visa. Get whatever you need, right? Right? Whatever it's going to take, you get it. You put it in. You make the sacrifices. You do it. Yahuwah's going to lead you, right? Yahuwah's going to lead you. Yahuwah's going to lead you. Get ready, get ready, get ready, get ready, get ready. With that I say, shalom, 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 and listen, be blessed.
Torah Garden, speaking the absolute truth. Torah Nation.